Welcome back to the Red Bill Performance Channel. What were we doing? Where are we at? I don't remember. Dang it. All right, so we're gonna pull out this plug right here. You see this plug right here? We're gonna pull that out, and we're gonna drain the oil out of this because this is the oil reservoir for the high pressure oil pump. So we're gonna drain that out because the oil that's in it is kind of nasty, kind of icky, kind of thick. So we're gonna drain all that out so I don't have to worry about it leaking out all over the place later when I'm in here messing around. I'm doing what I gotta do. So I'm pretty sure once you take the pump off, pretty sure it's got a port that goes right to it, and when you take the pump off, it's just like bleh, pukes all everywhere. So I don't want to forget to not have this empty. So we're gonna go ahead and empty this. And then once we empty this, we're gonna start pulling fuel lines and get this filter hosing out of here. Oh yeah, let's see. According to this, it's a 3/16 because everything on this, like this engine is literally half metric, half standard. Like it really is. There's an O-ring seal, so. Be gentle. Why is my air hose not already connected? Why must I do these things for myself? Air hose assistant! Yes. Alrighty. While that's doing this thing, we will get fuel lines off. Why not? What size are all of them? Nobody knows. Definitely not that size. Oh yeah, there it is. That one. And voila. Fuel lines are off. And see, here are those hateful rubber seals that I keep complaining about. Is that right there? A little square seal that goes over the line and just kind of pinches everything together. Absolute trash. I hate them. They do nothing but go bad. All they do. Let's see, can I get those off? Yeah, I should take that line off, but I think I can coax them up and out of there. Alright. I need to get this line and this plate out of the way because ultimately we got to get in there to get that pump off. I'm glad that we already went to the trouble torching that bad boy and lubing it, so it comes off with little to no effort now. Plus I grizzed it real well. I put the grease to it. Slowly. Oh, success. Clean it. That's a beautiful thing right there. Oh yeah, you see that bolt there? I see that bolt right there. Yep. That fitting's going to come off. I'd rather take the fitting off than the whole water pump. I say that now. Probably regret it here in a minute. Am I slipping? I think I was slipping. Oh, I was definitely, Jesus, I was definitely slipping. Wow, you was really biting on that thing, wasn't you? All right. Woo! It's a rodeo ride and you're invited. That bad unit off. Ooh. 1 inch. Exacto Emundo. There we go. Fits good. Oh yeah, there we go. Barely fits over this wrench. Winning. Oh wow. I don't know if that's meant to come out. But you need to. I can't get a socket past you. I'm gonna need to get something past you. Wow, you were in there. Wait. If this messes up the water pump, it messes it up. Either way, the water pump will have to come off, so. Let's see. Which I think if you order the water pump, I don't think it comes with this fitting anyway, so. See if that helped at all. Oh yeah, big time. Well, that did have an O-ring on it. It don't no more. See if we got one that matches. I'm sure we probably do somewhere. A little cooked, not bad. Okay, and the threads still actually look good. That is amazing. Have to do a little buff up here on this to make sure that's a nice smooth sealing surface when we put it back in, but I am heat, ladies and gentlemen, heat. If you ain't got one of these MAP gases, and I ain't talking about the propane one, you know, the propane one's the blue one. These yellow ones, and it's a different head. For the MAP gas, it's actually a different nozzle than the propane one, so they take more airflow. Those MAP gases right there, they get hotter. If you ain't got one of these little handheld MAP gas torches, you're living life wrong. I mean, it's good for everything from starting fires to, you know, heating stuff to get, you know, fittings and bolts out. And I can't tell you how many bolts that thing has saved me from having to drill and try and extract and have to rethread holes. Like, you know, this right here is an aluminum part. The threads are still perfect in it. I mean, there ain't no, see if I can touch this yet. It's still hot. Look, I mean, the threads are perfect on that. Didn't bring no aluminum out on it. And if I had not have heated that, if I had not, I mean, look at this. See where it was starting to rip the edge off there? And then right there, it was really biting in and taking a gouge. Yeah, I mean, that thing's hot. I'm going to tell you, if I hadn't heated that, I'd either broke that fitting, broke this snout completely off, or would have just ripped the threads right out of there. Because, I mean, you know, I had to leverage. You know, I mean, this is easily 1,000 pounds right here, and I could have let it around the shop no problem. Right there. Y'all need to invest in one of those if you ain't got one. They will save your life an untold amount of times. Anywho, we got other stuff to do. We got important stuff to do. We got man stuff to do. And lady stuff for you gals out there that like doing stuff like this. Oh, anyway, let's take out these 2 bolts. And with those 2 bolts, let's see. Might be able to work that rubber hose back. Anyway, with those 2 bolts, this right here, you know, the filter housing should fall off. So you gotta excuse me, I'm looking at like 12 different things while I'm trying to talk to y'all. Yeah, take out these 2 bolts and this filter housing should just, you know, fall off. Might see if I can work back that rubber hose real quick. All right, there. That hose is off of there. Neat, scandalous. Okie dokie. Out. Out. And that's another reason I drained this thing, because I couldn't remember if these bolts had seals on them or if they were actually, you know, solid through passages or not. And, you know, nice to know you can take this. Of course you can, because I mean, if you had to take this off to service it and frame, but you know, still, you just never know. I mean, sometimes these manufacturers, you know, they do might bit silly stuff. Let's see, my plan was I wanted to take these off. I wanted to try and wiggle this out of the truck with, well, out of the truck, off the engine with this still attached to the filter housing here, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that or not, even with this hose out of the way. Because I just, you know how it is. And I was really wanting to do that because I don't have any of these seals on hand, so I'd have to get more of these seals. Sure, I'm gonna take this hose off so maybe I can get it out of the way. I hope they're all ring sealed, because boy, it ain't got enough. That nowhere's finger tight. Holy mackerel. Maybe that's why that head is so coated in oil. You know, I was thinking it was from the fuel leaks and this and that, but maybe this bad boy's been seeping a little bit. I doubt it. Maybe though. But man, that thing is loose, so I mean, literally I can take it loose by hand. That's ridiculous. That ain't supposed to be that loose. Come on now. Get your stuff together. Can I wiggle this out of here? I'll give y'all an answer here in a minute. Oh, might not even wait a minute. Might be right now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Ah! Fuel everywhere. Never stops. 2 10 mils and then the big bolt in the front. Baby, come back. Now, in instructions, you should be incredibly careful around that sensor, because see, it is rather fragile. So that's what we will practice doing here. What am I doing with this bolt? Now, that's what we will practice doing, is being fragile around that sensor. All right, so got those bolts out. All I gotta do is get that one off. There we go. She's an 18mm. Probably not supposed to use an impact on this, but you know, when in Rome. No, see how easy that was? Then you had to fight with it. That couldn't have possibly broke anything, right? Man, that thing stinks. Dang, does it stink. Oh, oh, God, Lord. Has that oil been in there for 6 years or what? Oh, oofta. Oofta May. All right, now you will have a gasket right here to come off. Try and get as much dirt away from it as you can. Don't forget to recover your bolt that you inevitably dropped down in there just exactly as I did. And one bolt is long, one bolt is short. The short bolt goes on this side, the long bolt goes on that side. Oof to me, that stuff just smells bad. See if I can't get the vacuum cleaner in here for a second. And why do I need the vacuum in here, you may ask? Ow, broke my finger. And it's simple, because it's the most effective way that I have found that I can get in here and scrape and get this stuff off around the gasket and it not, you know, make its way into the engine. Because I don't like stuff in the engine, because, you know, stuff in the engine is just bad. It's a bad time, and don't nobody like it, especially me. I hate it. Where'd my rag go? Here's my rag. I do not like it when stuff gets in the engine. All right, let's see about pulling this gasket off. Ah, beautifully. Good thing comes with a new one. Ah, yes. That is cleaned up and ready for the new one to get in. I just got to get sensor swapped over. All right. Now, when removing this sensor, it is incredibly important, you know, according to the instrucciones and just general believers in general, to be incredibly careful with the sensor and not to break it, or you will have to replace it. Because if it's a damaged IPR, it will cause all kinds of rough. It will run rough, it won't start, low idle, all kinds of stuff if this sensor is damaged. And you want to take this little cap off here, and they're just like, it's like a little stamped steel nut. It ain't even, I think they make them this way so that way you can't over torque them, because you actually like try to throw a wrench or something on that, it'll just mangle it. When this thing just slides off, do not drop that. Don't beat it around. Don't even look at it really. And then you'll want 1 1/8" socket. Now this snap-on one just happens to be just deep enough that is as far as it'll go on. And then once you got your socket on, you will take your said ratchet, and then you'll just give her just, you know, like I said, you want to be careful because you don't want to damage it. Just one little knock, and it should come right loose. And then they're stiff coming out because this is one of those O-ring boss, you know, style fittings. And voila, there is your IPR that you want. Clean rags, you want to clean everything. Don't get nothing in these holes, don't clog this thing up. There's an O-ring right here on that end. Now I'm gonna look through my Adrenaline box and see if it comes with new O-rings for this. If not, then we're just gonna give this a little wipe down and pop it directly into the new pump. So let me check for new O-rings real quick, and we'll get her in there. All right, now the only seal it comes with is said seal for the pump, so hopefully none of yours get damaged when it comes out. And if they are, I guess you'll just have to go buy you a new sensor. But anyway, let's get this one popped in here. Nice. Like a glove. Oh no, I'm getting my grubby paw prints all over the new pump. I'm going to put on new gloves. Alright, now that's got it down hand tight. See, she's flush. And then remember, you don't have to go, you know, insane with these, because, yeah, you know, it is an O-ring seal, but, you know, just a little snugga-dugga goes a long way. Let's see. Alright. That's as tight as I want to get it. Yes, sir. It's as tight as I want to get it. Now, let's see. Sits in there like that, and I want. Alright, so let's get this plug body put back on here. I really should have just got a new one of these, but I forgot about it, if I'm being completely truthful, so yeah. It's hard to remember everything. As of right now, I'll leave it facing straight up just like that. Maybe just give it a little snuggums, not too much, don't want damage done. And then if I need to clock it any different once it's back in there, you know, we'll do that. Woofta! Give me this. I'm not gonna put the bolts in all the way, but I want them at least started. That way I know the gasket and everything is going to stay in place while I'm, you know, working on this thing. Alrighty. Let's see, got a little wiggle room on the pump, but there we go. Got a little wiggle room on the pump. Everything is in there. And like I said, you want to leave these two bolts loose on this pump because it'll help you line it up and get it back on the gear. Let's see, right here. Where's my rig at? There's my rig. Clean oil off of that surface there. Yeah, okay. Make sure she's good and clean. Letting it get in there. Oh, there needs a little wipe down. Oh yeah, beautiful thing. You want to make sure it's seated all the way up and on the pump. And you just reinstall your bolt. When this bolt torques down to 95 foot-pounds. 95, I said, not 195. Which means I'll probably torque it to 100. Anyway. I like going over. It makes me feel better about myself. I like going over. It makes me feel better about myself. Yes, it does. Set her at a big old 100. And these here only torque down to 18 foot-pounds, so that's not a lot, in case you're wondering. Click. Click. All right, that is on there. So the pump is installed good. Oh yeah, gotta get the fingerprints off of it. Don't need any evidence that we were ever in here. Anyway, that's on there. What did I say I was gonna take us to? 195? Wow, that's what I was going for, I do believe. Like I said, it said torque it to 95. My brain translated 95 into 100. That's what we're gonna do. Nope, that's the way it's wanting to turn. See, you gotta use the opposing wrench technique. Because see, the gear that is on this HPOP is directly linked to the crank gear, so voila. And there it is. 3 clicks out of it. That means it's good. Don't forget to back off your torque wrenches. Yeah, we should get that fuel filter housing back on here. Why? Because when we took it off, that one line was all in the way of getting the steel lines up and down through there. So we'll put the fuel bowl back on, because we're not deleting it, because we believe in all the fuel filters. That is my motto. I love fuel filters. Because this does have a fast or an air dog lift pump on it. I don't really remember. But it has one of them on it. Plus, it also still has the stock filter. You know, the air dog has the twin filterage on it, and then we got the stock filter, because the life to any diesel is the cleanliness of the fuel going into said injectors, because diesel fuel is just horrendously trash. So if you want to make your injectors last, and really any of the other parts in your fuel system, like, I don't know, let's say your HPOPs, well, not your HPOP, because that ain't in the fuel system, I'm just on HPOPs, like your CP3 pumps and stuff of that nature, you know, on them, you know, on all these newfangled trucks with these CP3s, CP4s, CP12s, the cleanliness of your fuel and actually keeping fuel to them is the main goal in keeping them alive. And I have lost my mind. There it is. But yeah, if you want your diesel fuel system to last, injector, I mean, just any part of your diesel fuel, you want good head pressure on your high pressure pump. You want to be feeding it so it ain't struggling to get fuel, and you want the fuel going into it as clean as possible. Now this one doesn't have high pressure fuel pump, it has high pressure oil pump, but still, the injectors like that clean fuel, and they like the fuel being there at them ready to go. So it's same. Booyah! Anyway, man, the cleaner I try and get this engine, just the nastier I get. I mean, it just stays nasty. But I gotta keep my hands clean, or dealing with the fuel system. I don't want to be nasty. So anywho, this is the driver's side one, and the driver's side connects with said straight fitting here. The whole reason we're switching over to these CNC ones from the factory ones is because they have these JIC or JNC? It's JIC. Anyway, has these types, these flange fittings, and these O-ring bosses. These O-ring bosses screw into the fittings and seal the fittings like on that end and this end, same, just like the factory lines do. But these factory lines all have this like little swivel fitting in them, and that's where these are prone to failure, and it's on both ends. And these factory ones are prone to failure, and this style, as long as you got the line tight, it ain't prone to failure. So this is an improvement. This is way better. And you ain't got to go extreme on the torque either, because, well, they are O-ring fittings, so it doesn't take much to seal them. I'll get this passenger side one put in too while we're here. I'll do that other cap. Oh, there it is. So I'll take all these caps and put them in the old pump whenever we package it up to go back. Anyway, there's the driver's side one. And let's see, this is the crossover one because it's not labeled. And this is the passenger one because, well, it is labeled. And on this one, they want the 90 to go right here at the pump. Which, you know, makes me regret putting the fuel bowl on so hastily now. I should have put on the lines, because these lines don't cross through the fuel bowl like, they don't cross through these pump lines and stuff like the other ones did. So, yeah. I should have installed these fittings and hoses before I put the filter housing back on here. But, you know, you live and you learn. I don't do one of these every day, so the exact course needed, I was unaware. That goes there. And then I just tighten down that fitting there. Which, if I was a smart man, I would have had out the wrench for it already, but I am not smart. Sometimes I really wonder. Make it custom. It'll be fun, they said. Alright, I've kind of got us in the middle of two jobs. We're putting on the metal hard lines, the 4-line kit, and we're doing the aftermarket high pressure oil lines. I haven't got that fitting tightened all the way down. But before I put these hoses on, before I start actually putting these hoses on, I need to get the 4-line kit on, because I am assuming that, you know, the routing of the metal hard lines is going to conflict with the high pressure oil lines if I don't get them on first. Oh, no screens, no screen. Okay. Anyway, so we need to get those in here first. That's where I stand. Now let's see. I almost think we need to do this one first, because this one just comes from there to there. So I feel like that one will be super easy, so we should just, you know, knock it out and get it done. But, you know, let's get out these fittings, the tube plugs, and the fittings in the head, because all that has to come out. It's all getting changed. It's going to hopefully stuff that does not leak. All right, so if you're doing this 4-line conversion kit, your plug and fitting pile, your old plug and fitting pile, should look something similar to this. That should be what is removed from the engine, so you can start placing all of these said fittings in the engine. All right, now I'm going to get to addressing where each line is and getting off, you know, like, there we go, and getting off its individual, you know, fittings that are separate from the actual lines, and getting them installed in their proper home where they want to be, because that's kind of a tedious part, because there's a fitting at each end of each line. So yeah, we'll get this, I'll get this done, I get all the fittings in place, and then I'll let you see. And it's a simple case of being like, okay, well, this line goes here, so this fitting goes there. It's O-ring style. It was an O-ring style fitting that I took out of it. And then, you know, this fitting on this end of the line goes obviously in that hole. So do that with each line. Put all your fittings in the right place. And then it should be as simple as just putting the lines in, tighten them up, and you're done. All right. Oh God, please tell me you didn't crack. Well, that's done. That is done. All right, quick PSA. And I was literally just thinking about this as it happened. And you know, y'all don't want to be an idiot like me. Whenever you're putting in these fittings, you know, don't over torque them, don't fight them, you know, go slow, take your time. And as they start tightening up, get your lines out and see where the fittings need to be pointed for, you know, to actually accurately hook up. So that way, you know, you can get them tight, but not too tight. And they'll be pointed in the right direction. You don't have to back them off any, because these are national pipe thread style fittings. It's a tapered thread pitch. So once you get it to a certain point, if you have to back it off, you could actually have a leak there because you like kind of cut into it a little deep and then backed off of it. So you can cause a leak there. You never want to back these fittings back off. Like you want to, where you finally sit, where they end up, where you finish park them, like when you're tightening them, that's where you want them to stay. So you don't have leaks. So you just want to take your time, put these fittings where they need to be, not over torque them, etc., etc. And the iron and in steel, it's not that big a deal because, you know, the iron is strong like a bull. But in this stuff here, it's not strong. It is not strong like a bull. And this in here, I didn't even have it tight. Like it was still turning easy, and I heard a pop. And that pop, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get y'all to see this. Let's see here. Can y'all make that? That's probably too much light. Let's see. Can y'all make that out? I might have to get the fitting out. But anyway, there's a crack right there. It cracked on me. So I'm gonna get this fitting out and then see if we can actually get it to where y'all can see it. But I just cracked the fuel bowl. And like I said, it wasn't even tight. Like it was still just spinning nice and, you know, easy, at least at the end of the wrench, you know, feel here. It's still, you know, like I said, just not even tight. But I heard a pop. And whenever you hear a pop, you should always stop and kind of investigate things. And it did. It cracked the damn thing. So that's on me. That is just unfortunate. But I'm going to get on the phone with the owner and see if he wants to do a fuel bowl delete now. I mean, I didn't want to do a fuel bowl delete. I love filters. The more filters you have, the better. I will preach that to the day I'm dead. You cannot over-filter a fuel system, especially on diesel, because diesel is just atrociously nasty. So is ethanol fuels. They're terrible. So you cannot over-filter them. But in this instance, it's going to come down to either finding a used fuel bowl, putting a new fuel bowl on it, or, you know, just doing the fuel bowl delete. So I might want to get online, look at some, I mean, look, it's dead loose, which also it's cracked. So that explains why it's so loose. But yeah, I'm going to, like I said, I gotta get on the phone with him, see what he wants to do, see if he wants to, you know, see, I mean, it wasn't even that deep in there. Phone him, see what he wants to do, see if he wants to just delete it or go about getting another bowl and putting on there, which sets this project back another couple of days. Oh, upsetting. But that being said, I can get the rest of the fittings on, and I can at least get them lined up and ready for the fuel lines. And then I can get the high pressure oil lines on. We can still do injectors. We can finish everything out, but this little area, we're gonna be sitting dead in the water for a couple days now. So very, very unfortunate. Make sure y'all take your time when you're tightening stuff up like this. And you know, maybe it was inevitable, because like I said, I didn't even have it tight. I didn't even have it tight. And it popped. But yeah, I don't think my camera's gonna be able to pick that up, but it is, it's cracked. Because I mean, I can barely see it right now that the fitting's out of it because it's closed back up. I said, very unfortunate, and it might have been unavoidable because, like I said, I was barely even turning on that thing and it popped. So let that be a lesson for y'all. Be extremely careful if you're keeping the fuel bowl and you're putting new fittings in this, because these things have been through a bunch of heat cycles. They're thin, like it's a really thin wall right there anyway. And yeah. Dang it. All right, let me get on the interwebs. I just want to do some looky-loo, see what another bowl is worth, used or new or aftermarket. And then also look at the delete kit. And if I do get the bowl delete kit, I'll have to get the one from CNC Fabrication. I mean, I don't know if their 4-line kit works with every bowl delete kit, because there is multiple different companies, you know, and aftermarket sources that offer bowl deletes, and I don't know how they all differ. So in order to make sure that my CNC Fabrication 4-line kit hooks up to everything, if we go the bowl delete route, I will get the CNC Fabrication bowl delete kit. But all right, I'll be back with y'all in a few minutes after I go drown my tears in the toilet. All right, things have been discussed, problems have been sorted, a new plan has been cobbled together. I'm gonna go ahead and finish everything I can do, from, you know, injectors, glow plugs, get the valve covers back on it, get all the fittings in, get any lines on and in place that I can. And I went to CNC Fabrication, ordered their delete block. So it's coming. Be a few days before it gets here. And, you know, that's what we'll do as far as the engine goes. We'll get the engine as far as we can go. We'll just be that one delete block away. We can get the pedestal on. We'll get on the high pressure oil lines. We can go ahead and finish everything up except for the few connections that'll need to be done here. And the reason I decided to go that route than the fuel bowl is because the fuel bowl, to get another one, the cheapest I found, was actually a little more expensive than the CNC, you know, just delete block that goes here. So to save money, and honestly, because I'm worried about cracking another bowl, like I don't want to spend more money than it is for the delete block and get another bowl and then one of its fittings, you know, one of its holes crack, because that would just be heartbreaking. We're deleting the fuel bowl because I just don't want to risk getting one here, because I found one for 150 bucks. I don't want to get it here and then another fitting crack on it and I have to order the delete block anyway, which is 125 bucks. So just to save money and headache and any worry, just gonna put the delete block on and, you know, the heck with it. You know, we lose a filter, but we still have 2 filters on the truck, and it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. And once the block gets here, and we're actually doing that final installation, I can go in, alleviate any confusion or concerns once it's on here. And I can just simply tell you, like, we don't have to worry about a return on the engine side because there is already a return on the truck side. We've essentially been running 2 fuel returns for years, and we haven't needed to. It's just, that was the simplest way of hooking up the fuel system at the time when we initially did it, because we wanted to retain this filter. We didn't want to delete any of this. All right, whew, dang, that was long-winded. All right, I'm going to finish my fitting installation that I started 3.5 years ago. And we're going to pull this fitting back out here, and we're just going to pull this off and, you know, kick it to the curb because it's done upset me. And we can get rid of this drain line off here and everything. We're just going to make the whole thing classier. I'm over and out. I'll be back as soon as I get everything done that I can get done. And yeah, 1 step forward, 87 steps backward every day. And tighten up this last hose here. Let's see, going this way. Yeah, there we go. Tighten up this last hose here. And it's good to actually use this fitting on the line to hold the line. Oh Lord, can't get back on there. That way you're not actually twisting, you know, because the face of the fitting that seals, the face of the line that seals to the fitting, and you know, is affixed to the line, so you don't want it twisting. Plus, you don't want to be twisting your line. So, there it is. And that is essentially what it will look like if you're doing the 4-line conversion, and you're also doing the crossover conversion. You know, you're putting on these better lines with the better fittings. And this one I kind of got it clocked this way a little bit, and this one I kind of have it turned down a little bit because it just, when I had both ends of the hose loose, this lined it up. The hose was in less of a bind with that fitting pointing down a little bit and this fitting pointing back a little bit. And you know, like I said, this is essentially what it should look like when you're done. Now imagine having a fuel filter housing here or the delete block. And this in here, I have a plug for it. I actually need to, I wish they'd have sent a cap for this, but they didn't. So you just have to, you know, put a plug there. Is what it is. But I have the plug over here. It comes with the kit somewhere, maybe. I'm probably lying to y'all. What did I do with it? Oh no. Ah. Still in the bag on the instructions. But essentially, you'll tighten this fitting and put that plug on there. Unless, you know, you can go get one of these that's just a T and get rid of the cross and just have a T in it. You don't have to do that, or you can find a cap for it. You know, it's just a, I don't remember what size. I think it's an 8 JIC fitting. So, I mean, any cap for it or whatever, like I said, you can take out the cross and just put in a T. This is already here, so I'm just going to use that. And then, you know, this is here in case you have a fuel pressure sensor that you want to put in. You can put it in here. But the delete block that's coming, it has a secondary hole that is a provision for a fuel pressure sensor. So you have options for fuel to go other places or whatever you want to do. You know, you have the provisions here to do it. Come think about it. I might have a fuel pressure gauge. Anyway, that's a problem for later. Yeah, this is essentially what it looks like once you do these upgrades. And you know, this will be sitting here. You know, all this is loose. I have all these lines loose until, you know, I can actually finish it. And I left the pedestal on to show you that you can do all this with the pedestal in place. You don't have to take it off. But now I am going to take this off and put our new one on. And once I put on the pedestal, do the injectors and glow plugs, this will essentially be done till we get our block. This video is wrapped up. We are done here. It's been fun. A little aggravating here and there, waiting on shipping, but you know, that's the nature of the beast anymore. But if y'all enjoyed the content, you're welcome to come on back. I try to make weekly uploads, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all on the next video. But this one's done. Leave a like and a comment down below. And as always, I appreciate y'all. Love having you. And I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, everyone.